Coming at y'all Thursday, October 30th. This is the Best Picks in DMV podcast. Right now we're titled The Breeders' Cup Special. I'm here with my special guest today and my other co/producer. Wanted to let y'all know off bat. Fortunately, my other co-host TJ couldn't be here today. But let me go and introduce myself first. My name's Gabriel Parise. I'm the main host of this podcast. And make sure you go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And if you have any questions, feel free to question me at bestpicksindmv@yahoo.com. I'll answer any questions there as well. But with that said, let me go ahead and get to my special guest. He's making his third appearance on the show. We had the Kentucky Derby special back in the spring, along with the Saratoga special. Or the Belmont special, I'm sorry. But let me go and introduce him. It's my father, Mike Parise. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Mike Parise. I'm Gabe's father. And we're going to go over the Breeders' Cup Saturday card to a degree. Yeah.
Yep, like I said, this is his third time on this show, so hopefully this one goes as well as the other two. And I also want to say right off the bat, we're not going to go over really like elementary type horse racing stuff, kind of like we did last podcast. So if you're interested in any like introductory towards horse racing, definitely check those out. It's the Kentucky Derby special and the Belmont special that are still on my YouTube channel. But with that said, let me go ahead and introduce my co-host and producer, Tyrone Virgil. He's the creator of the VMN. He's also the host on the 420 Friendly podcast and also the host of the Audio Alchemy podcast. Go ahead, Ty.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome in another episode. Get your picks in. Pay attention. These guys gonna hip us.
Yes, sir. You already know. But with that said, the most important thing to do is immediately follow my Instagram. That's where all my plays have become official. Right now, that's where I give out straight point spread plays for college football and NFL for the year. Right now, the overall NCAA football record's 41-42. The NFL is doing much better at 19-15. So overall, right now, the record's 60-57. Definitely have to improve that percentage because the goal is always to go over above 56.5%, as you know well now by now. But definitely make sure you tune into my IG and TikTok as well. And I meant to say my Facebook and TikTok. And also make sure you turn into my other podcast, Best Picks in DMV football special for the whole fall. That's where we gave out 2 NFL locks for the Sunday and Monday games possibly, and then 2 locks for the Saturday college football. And right now, the overall record in this podcast for college football is 12-7, which is a 63.1% clip. 9-7 for the NFL, which is a 56.2% clip. So we're sitting at an overall record of 21-14, which is a 60% clip. We're halfway through the NFL year after this week, so I'd say we're sitting pretty good, given the goals to go above 56.5%, as y'all know. But the Parise parlay section definitely has to pick up. But let's get back to let's get back to today's agenda. And that's the first thing we're going to do is introduce you to Del Mar, along with the significance of the Breeders' Cup, especially for those of you who are new to horse racing or don't know that much about the Breeders' Cup in general, maybe even if you do know about horse racing. And then after that, that's where we're going to hand out our Pick 4 money plays. Hopefully that will go well. And then after we get done with that, we are going to let the special guest give out at least one NCAA football pick and one NFL pick as well. So that's how we're going to end it. So let me also say the Pick 4 sequence that we're giving out, I want to state immediately. It comes out in race 6 and ends in race 9. Race 9's obviously the big race. Well, not obviously, but race 9's the big ass. I mean, the big race.
Yeah, it's the classic.
Yeah, the Del Mar Classic, of course. Yeah. So that's going to be the 4th and final leg of our Pick 4 sequence. So just keep that in mind. Now, I want to go right into a little history of Del Mar just to introduce the track in general. For like I said, I got a lot of people that watch that's not familiar with horse racing, so maybe they can get a little history of my personal favorite track, and you know that. But right away, the track was founded in 1937 by a group of Hollywood celebrities and businessmen. Most famously, the crooner and actor Bing Crosby, who greeted the first fans at the gate back
Bing
then.
Crosby.
Yep.
Way before your time.
Exactly. I don't even really know who he is.
That's crazy, huh?
For real.
Right.
But
Me, I know who he is.
But then, like you said, it's way before my time.
Yeah, it is.
But in 1938, the track gained national fame by hosting a national broadcast winner-take-all match race between the legendary racehorse Seabiscuit and, forgive me for this name, Bingland Stables Ligarodi. I'm not really sure who that second horse is too well. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but we all know about the famous Seabiscuit.
Right.
Del Mar, and just so you know, on a regular basis, Del Mar holds 2 prominent racing seasons each year. The main summer meet runs mid-July through early September, while the fall meet, also known as the Bing Crosby season, runs, I guess they say here in November, but obviously late October starting this year. And I think it goes into early December, correct?
Yeah.
I think it might go, yeah. So
Before Christmas.
exactly. So that's where that sits for this season. And like I said, that's my personal favorite track to study and watch. So I'm excited for this one. Now, some notable races for this include the prestigious Grade 1 Pacific Classic, which they host every year. And also, the track has hosted the Breeders' Cup multiple times, and this is the first since 2021. Now, the Breeders' Cup, for you people that are new and, like I said, might not know the exact significance of the Breeders' Cup, we got to tell you a little bit about it right now. And it started in the 1980s to crown a definitive year-end champion. The Breeders' Cup attracts horses, jockeys, and trainers from North America, Europe, and other regions. This makes it a true world championship, unlike national events like the Triple Crown. Unlike national events like the Triple Crown. Another important fact about the Breeders' Cup, unlike the Triple Crown, which are restricted to only three-year-olds, most Breeders' Cup races are open to older horses. So this allows a more complete determination of the best horse in the world, obviously, as horses often go in their prime well past that 3rd year. But the main significance of the Breeders' Cup, of course, is it builds their name and elevates the horse's profile that much more, leading to more lucrative stud fees and a higher demand for its progeny. How do you say that word properly? Progeny, I'm sorry. So I'd say this is definitely the biggest race in the world coming up at Del Mar, especially race 9 on Saturday, November 1st, in the whole day in general, races 1 through 12. So if you haven't, definitely tune in, please. Wouldn't you say it's bigger than the Triple Crown? What do you get more excited for?
Well, obviously the Breeders' Cup. And
hold on, speak a little bit more into
obviously
that.
the Breeders' Cup. And the difference really is that the Breeders' Cup is a 2-day event. They've kind of tinkered.
Break that down.
Well,
good.
They've kind of tinkered with the scheduling over the years. Now, what they do now is they have all the juvenile races on Friday, which are for 2-year-olds, and then they have the older horses run on Saturday for about 6 or 7 different types of races that are on the turf. There's sprint races, then there's longer races, and then there's the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now this year, what they've done, unlike many other years, is they have the Breeders' Cup Classic run in race 9.
Yeah.
And then they still have a couple other Breeders' Cup races follow. So it's not the last race of the card, which normally it is. So
I think they got 12 total, so there's actually 4 more that day.
Yeah, so what they do is on Friday, they'll have a couple of about 3 or 4 regular races, and then they go into the Breeders' Cup races to the end of the card, and then they do the same thing on Saturday. They'll have 3 or 4 regular races, and then they'll have the Breeders' Cup races.
Right.
So, and it's for horses for all around the world and different ages. Like I said, the juveniles are on Friday, and then the older horses run Saturday. That's kinda what they
Exactly.
do now.
So obviously, you personally like the Saturday more. Would you say, or do you kind of like Friday more? Does it not matter? Just depends on the card. You would say maybe the Friday card for whatever reason might be better to handicap than the Saturday card. Even though it is, I guess they made it new. You just said so.
Well,
you kind of can't really determine what
it's
you like
just interesting
more
because I like personally. I like playing 2-year-olds. I like playing juvenile
Yeah,
races.
that's why I do that.
But you know, the Saturday card is obviously more popular, and you know, like you said, depending on the card. But listen, there are a lot of horses in each race. You know, like you know, there's a
there was a thick book today, or a thick packet for
thick
that
packet,
track. It
because
was
there's
a
a
thick
lot of
packet
horses
today.
in each race. The average horse per
And
race
for
is
our
probably
pick for
12.
sequence in general, there's a lot of horses to choose from. Not a crazy amount, I'd say,
Well,
but there's still a good amount.
There was
to
a
choose
couple
from.
of scratches that we found out already.
I think there was
which
only
we'll go
2
over.
so far, right?
Two-
Major
two-
scratches.
Well, one is the major scratch. One is Sovereignty, which is in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
He's in the
He was
biggest
going to be
race.
the favorite.
Hey,
So-
that's my horse.
Yeah, that
who
is.
I picked
Yep.
And
last
then
time.
so he's out, which
Unfortunately-
opens it up a little bit. And then there was a Scottish, I think Scottish Lassie's the name, which got scratched in the 7th race.
Right.
So it was, but even with those 2, there's 49 total horses that are listed if an AE draws in the 6th race. Copian. Oh no, there was one more scratch. There was Copian, which was one of your picks during Kentucky Derby Day this year. Who won that day? He scratched. Richard Mandela has 2 in the race, and so he's have to lay on the other one. Big City Lights.
Yep.
So that's what's going on there. So that's 49 horses to choose from. So in the pick 4, so something will definitely happen.
Yeah.
In this sequence, some prices will come your way.
I was disappointed too that the one got scratched. What was his name again?
It was Copian.
Copian. I'm sorry. Yeah, who I liked in the Belmont Day. Not in the Belmont race, but he would.
I thought it was Kentucky Derby Day, but I
It
could
might
be
have
wrong.
been Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty sure.
probably wrong.
Yep.
But either way, I know I remembered I liked him, and I actually did. That's who I have right there, is written down right there. But unfortunately, once you told me the news, I had to scratch him out because I was gonna. He wasn't my top choice today. Actually, I have 2 top choices in that race. They were actually tied. They were gonna be, but he was one of them.
Right.
And Michael Maker, is that who you said was
No,
on
it was
the train?
Richard Mandela had the 2. He had the 1.
Yeah,
and
I'm
5.
sorry, Richard Mandela. But I do like Richard Mandela's other horse. I'll give a little hint towards that in that specific race right off break.
All
With
right.
that said, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Now, the first race is going to be the 6th race at Del Mar for the day. And that race is going to go off. I'm not familiar with this book too much. Usually I get with the book.
Yeah, that was,
I don't see the time right there.
That was upsetting that we couldn't get the form.
Yeah.
For Saturday. The 6 is the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and like we said, the 1 is scratch, which leaves a field of 13.
Does it say what time that's around?
Yeah,
I can't see
it's
it.
going to go off. That's because you don't staple it correctly. But it's going to be at 4:21.
Oh, I do see that.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
So that's when that goes. That's gonna
That's 7:21.
would be 7:21.
No, you're correct.
Yeah,
It's
it's
4:21 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, Eastern Standard
Yeah,
Time.
so Del Mar Race 6 is the first race of our Pick 4 sequence, and it's going to go off around 4:20. We're going to come at y'all live earlier on my Instagram that Saturday to remind y'all and give y'all out another official Instagram Pick 4 for that day. But I do want to let them know what time they got to let them when it starts, and that's
Right.
4:20 p.m. So definitely be prepared to get your action in around that time.
Right. And
Go ahead.
okay, so it starts right here. We ended up going 5 deep on a consensus between the 2 of us. And this particular race here kind of didn't put it in order. We just picked 5 total. Gabe had 3 he liked, and I shared his view on a couple
When
of them.
he says picks in order, he means like our
Or
best horse to our least, like our added on horse.
Right.
Correct.
I kind of go
Yeah.
in that in order.
Just so
of
they
the
know.
way
I
picked
think
them.
some might think you mean the order like 6, 7, 10. No, he means the order of our best picked horse to our last picked
Right,
horse.
but
Yeah.
in this particular instance, we kind of
Yeah.
just did not. So these are not in any particular order, at least
Exactly.
in this race.
These are just random written down after
Right.
we were talking about it.
But we started off with the 5, which is Big City Lights. You got a 15-1 morning line,
It's just crazy.
which is could be a little crazy. KK moves over from the 1, even before the scratch, is riding this for Richard Mandela. Very familiar with Del Mar. 4 for 5 in the exacta at Del Mar. 7 for 13 lifetime. 3 for 3 in the exacta at the distance. Again, we don't have the form, so I can't tell you what these true numbers are here, but consistently runs from off the pace. There should be a great amount of speed in here today with a couple of other horses, which we'll touch on, but he's going to be coming from off the pace, and we like him as one of our 5.
Yeah, I think he's very classy, and then KK's riding him, which is interesting because KK won. Not only he's changing horses, but he was winning on the horse he's changing from and rid him a lot more, which was the scratched horse, who we said. I keep forgetting the name of Copian.
Mm-hmm.
He's won on Copian multiple times, but for some odd reason, he wanted to already go to the, who was it again? I'm sorry, the 5 horse. So I think that's a good sign. And then it was actually a hidden entry, like we mentioned. And the horse really likes Del Mar as well, I think. So that's why I thought it was a little crazy to be at 15-1. He's won 4 out of 6 races on the Del Mar dirt. So that's interesting to me as well. He loves the distance, and he has a very good work, his last word.
Well, he's lightly raced for a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
But the reason why he's probably 15-1 is if you look closely here, some of these stakes races he were in were state bred stakes race. He's a California bred.
Correct.
So that's the reason for the high morning line. But the second horse that
I think it should be more around like 10-1. Though.
Could be.
15-1's a little wild.
We'll
to
see
me,
what he
especially with
takes.
KK riding.
The second horse was the 7 horse.
Yeah.
JJ Hernandez is riding for Bob Baffert. Bob Baffert is the #1 local trainer in Southern California for many years. This horse here was in the Santa Anita Derby last year. Didn't make the Kentucky Derby, but went on to run in the Preakness. Didn't do well. Ended his didn't really end his campaign as a 3-year-old till the end of December. Then he ran another stakes race in January of 25, finished 4th as the beaten favorite. Then he resurfaced in September of this year. He won a grade 2 at Santa Anita, and I guess that's what catapulted him in here. He cost $1 million. He's won 600, so he's getting to what his asking price was for. And you can't fault anyone for taking a Bob Baffert horse, especially locally, at home. So that was our second pick.
Yeah, also the 7 also proved himself against a couple of horses in this field. He already beat this 6 and 12 last time out at this distance. They ran in that race you were talking about at Santa Anita. And also the 7 has some pretty good works, his last work. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well to why we like the 7 so
Yeah,
much.
that's interesting because
Hold up real quick. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're back in action right now. The first, we were on the 10 horse.
So we were going to pick up on our third horse here, which is the 10 horse. Forgive me if I don't say
Tornado.
Ben Tornado, maybe. I don't know. Running for Jose D'Angelo. And I hope I got his name right. I know he's a Florida-based trainer. This is a Florida bred. This is a 5-2 morning line favorite. He's probably going to go off as the favorite.
Yeah.
He ran in his last year in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He got second to a horse we're going to go to next. then, that was the end of his 3-year-old campaign. He resurfaced in September of this year and pretty much won the stakes race at Churchill on September 13th. And there was 8 horses in that race, and he was the favorite and won there. Now he's back at the Breeders' Cup. He's 6 for 10 lifetime, 5 for 5 in the exacta at this distance. I think he'll probably will go off as the favorite. Who he lost to in the Breeders' Cup sprint last year is the horse I like, which is the 12 horse.
Hold on real quick. I just want to mention about the 10 horse. I also think he's very classy. I like that Irad Ortiz is on him. He's won 2 out of 3 times on him already. And also the horse is 4 out of 5 at that distance, with 1 he didn't win being the second place finish. So I think he really loves that distance as well. So I'm really big on the 10 horse. I just want to mention, I'm really not going to have opinion on these last couple horses because the 3 horses that I was in was the 5, 7, and 10. So I'm going to let him take it away with the 12 completely. But I did want to throw that in there with the 10.
Okay. So who he lost to was the 12 horse. Johnny V's been riding this horse for Dan Blacker as far back as we can see. Straight no chaser. He won the Breeders' Cup sprint last year. He's going for a repeat. I kind of like the way that they handled him this year. They took him over to overseas to South Korea. He went to Dubai in April, laid off, comes back, has 1 stakes event, shows speed, gets 3rd. Now he's back to defend his title. Lightly raced. And, listen, especially for these sprint horses that it's so demanding, that's why you see that they're not running, 10 to 20 races a year, is because these are they're high-priced commodities, and they need to be lightly raced. If you look at most of these horses, that especially the ones that are going to be in contention, they're 3 to 5 years old. They might have only ran 13 races. Which means they're pointing to this from the beginning of the year. So that's why I like the 12. And I'm going to tell you the other horse I like is the 6, Dr. Vinkman. Now, this horse, I think you haven't seen the best of him, and I'll tell you why.
Umberto Rispoli.
If you look back at his 4-year-old campaign, he was getting higher numbers towards the end. So, in other words, he was racing himself into shape. I think that's what he's done this year. He's ran a few more races as a 5-year-old. I've always heard a lot of good things about this horse, and I just think he can run a big one. And if he's 4 for 6 winning at Del Mar, so I think he can run a good one. One thing on the con side is he's 0 for 2 at the distance when you've already ran 11 races and you haven't won a 6 furlong event. That's a downside, but let's see. I've seen stranger things happen. So we went 5 deep here to recap. We used the 5, 7, 10, 6, and 12. And if you're a Flavian Pratt fan, you might want to add the 11. He's been facing Bookham Dano for 3 races in a row. So, he was here last year also and got 3rd. So
I think that's definitely a chance for a long shot in that race out of all the fields all the races that we're going to bet.
Yeah.
This has the best chance of it going deep. This is probably definitely the race you need to go deep on. And what's crazy, as I swear, my most confident horse is the 5 horse in that race.
Okay, so again, we used 5 horses in that race.
Correct.
Moving on to the 7th. This is the Breeders' Cup Distaff. This is for fillies, 3-year-olds and up, going 1.125 miles.
This one's going a little long.
Okay, so we ended up
on the dirt.
Yes.
The first horse was on the dirt. The first race was on the dirt too,
yeah,
obviously.
The Breeders' Cup Dirt Sprint.
Yes,
So
sir.
now we are moving on here, and we've got we used 4 horses here. Okay, no 5, and I'm going to let Gabe maybe talk about his favorite horse here, which I'm very high on too, which is the 1 Nitrogen.
Well, first of all, as you see, I think he's the class of the race, even though there's some classy horses in here, but I still think he's the class of the race. He came second to the 7 horse Gingin last race. Jose Ortiz is riding him and rides on him well. I feel like if he won the last race, he would probably be maybe even the co-favorite even in the book in this race. I feel like the 1's running style fits this track and race very well because I feel like this running style, and this is why I mentioned the first 2 races, this race and the last race was on the dirt, because I have noticed from the last meet that they were at, this track, because I expect the 7 and 8 to battle in the sprint, like to get out early. But at this track, it's hard to win at long distances from gate to wire or on the fast end. You see a lot of long distance races on the dirt at Del Mar, I feel, get closed on by a stocker that likes to sit in 3rd or 2nd position or even 4th. And this 1 does that very well. So I expect maybe the 7 and 8 to battle it out, like I said, and then you could easily see the 1 passing them at the end.
And, and another interesting thing about Nitrogen is, if you look at his record here, his past performances,
just so you know, the 1 wasn't the top choice that I loved in that horse race the most.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, in that race the most. That's
but this filly.
But I do like the 1. Go ahead.
Well, this filly ran.
Hold up real quick.
That Nitrogen, that's the blue, right? I want to make sure I got the right graphics so people.
Oh no! That's for the 10th race. That's for the 9th race, the final race. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going back on now?
Yeah. But go ahead. You're good.
Yeah, just that Nitrogen was actually at the Breeders' Cup last year, but ran on the turf in the juvenile turf race. So then he, kept running on the turf as a 3-year-old, and there was a wash-off race at Saratoga on June 6th where, he clobbered him by 17. Well, there's only 3 horses in the race. But either way, he's only ran 3 times on the dirt. Once was on the wet surface. So, this horse was very, highly talked about while he was on the turf, and now he's on the dirt. This filly, I should say. So, moving on, another choice here was the 8 Seismic Beauty.
Yeah,
the 9-5 favorite.
Right off bat was my top choice in this race.
9-5 favorite. It's a Baffert horse. Well, since he is, why don't you?
Let me tell you about this horse.
Why don't you talk about her?
I feel this horse is going to break very well out of the gate. He did get a good lead and never look. Oh, I'm sorry. He's going to break well in this race and get a good lead and never look back. Even though I'm iffy on betting speed horses, like I said, going gate to wire on this long distance, whole time this horse looks too special not to still blow away this field. But he should be a heavy favorite, I feel, for a reason. So it's not really that weird that I really want to single him as well. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, her. Yes.
All right.
Because I didn't have her. I wasn't looking at her on the paper right now. I was looking at my notes. But yeah, I definitely think this horse is good enough to single, which is no big deal because I think it's going to go off as a heavy favorite, at least like probably 1-1, maybe 2-1.
I think between there.
Yeah.
It's definitely she'll
go. But I do think this is going to be an easy race at the end because the 1's just too unproven. I did like the 1 a lot, but like I said, he lost to the 7 Gingin last race. So it kind of makes me a little nervous about him to be able to just have the confidence to go with him here. But
that was
I
a
love this
massive upset, and I'll tell you why. That there was only 5 horses in that race.
Yeah,
and sometimes when you have scratches like that, in a grade 1, you don't get the pace to run at, and that's probably because Nitrogen was there was another big time horse in that race, and I can't remember right now who it was. The horse could be here today, or the filly, but I can't remember who it was. But Gingin won, and we used Gingin, so that's we'll just talk about her real quick.
Yeah, you're talking about we used them in this race. We like
used
them.
her in this
We like
race
her in this
also.
race. Well,
So she beat Nitrogen, and it was a grade 1, and she was in the Kentucky Oaks last year as a 3-year-old, resurfaced at Keeneland in April, won the stakes there, then ran a couple other stakes races at Churchill, and then pulled the big upset at Keeneland, which might have got her in here. I don't know.
Right.
4 for 13 lifetime, 2 for 5 at the distance. So we used her, and then we also used.
Hold on, let me talk about the 7 one time.
Okay.
Because this is why I really wanted to use the 7 big time here. Because like I said, I'm not the biggest on using the speed horses gate to wire, and as you see, 7's another speed horse, and it won and she won the last race gate to wire. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I feel for some reason the 8 Cosmic Dance, that's the name, correct?
Seismic
Dance.
Seismic Beauty. You're thinking of Cosmic Dance? Or you're
No, what's
thinking
number
of
8?
Mark
Cosmic
Boland right
Beauty.
now.
Or Seismic Beauty. I'm sorry. Seismic
Excuse
Beauty.
me.
Because I stapled it at that
Okay.
place.
Yeah,
But Seismic
Staples.
Beauty, if it doesn't get the best start, but for some reason the 7 does, it might just get out and gain more confidence and did what it just did last time. And if it was good enough to beat the 1 horse last time, then it could be good enough to beat him here. So I definitely had to add the 7 as well. But once again, the 1, 7, and 8 were my top 3 selections. The other 2 for this race are all left to him. And once again, the first 2 races were the longest races. We went deep in these 2 races. So
Right. Well, we used the 12 Dorth.
that's
Vader.
the 4th horse. Or no, that's the 4th of the 5 horses
That's
we
correct.
used. Not in order particularly.
And that's
Go.
Johnny V riding for George Weaver. Let me stop and say something about John Velasquez. I mean, he is on fire. Okay, I'm telling you, this guy is a multiple-time Eclipse Award winner over the years. He's no spring chicken. He's got to be in his late 40s, but he is having one heck of a year. I mean, he came close. If he didn't, and I haven't checked to see who won the Keeneland riding title, but that's only a month meet. But he was doing fabulous there. He's doing fabulous everywhere. And I think he's going to have a big weekend, and all that hard work's going to pay off. And he's got a shot here on the 12. But he's rode this horse, every time just about for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
She's a 5-year-old. So we used her. And listen, I like this. I used the 11. When they're 3 years old, they get good in a hurry. And this is what this 11 looks like she's doing. She's been well-traveled for Chad Summers, who's another story in itself that we don't have time to talk about with this guy. But, this horse has only been out, this filly's only been out 6 times. And she won a stakes 2 back at Philly, got second in a grade 1. She's going to be high odds, but listen, I've seen stranger things happen. So we went 5 deep here in these 2 races, hoping to
Remind
catch a
them who the
price.
5 are again in this leg.
And one thing I always say, it's how you structure the ticket.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to be right. And, one thing that we're going to move, so we used the 5 horses here, the 1, 7, 8, 12, 11. And at the end, we will go back and tell you every horse we used.
And what the price is going to be.
Right. And how much the ticket's going to
Now
be.
for this race,
We're moving on to the 8th.
tell them what it's called.
Well, this is the Breeders' Cup turf. And this is a 1.5 mile, a $5 million race. And this is what draws the big Euros.
Hold on, let me stop you right there for a second. Now, this race we're going to go over briefly because this is a weird handicapping race in my opinion. And not only that, I think I see a special horse. So thankfully, I didn't really have to handicap it too much.
And a lot of times you'll get in trouble that way. What he's
You would.
basically telling you
Well,
is
tell him why.
we're getting on the bus. And what that means is, and I use an analogy all the time is, when you see something that everybody is going to single, which it's called getting on the bus. Everybody's getting on the bus. They're all going to the field trip and they're getting on the bus. Well, guess what happens? The bus makes a wrong turn and it doesn't get there. But guess who does get there? The guys that got in the car with the chaperone.
Well, let me stop you for a second. Because let me also give them a little hint of something. We're really aiming for the pick 5 that day. But I didn't want to get into the pick 5. I didn't want to give our pick 5 away. And not only that, it just takes a little bit too much longer. And there's really no need to do it. But in this particular case, now the only reason I'm mentioning this because you're saying everybody's going to be on the bus. Now, the goal is I didn't really study the first leg of the pick 5 sequence, which would come in race 5 before this, but I'm hoping that's a long, like a deep field as well, or like a long shot field, not a deep field, I'm sorry, but like a race that we would go deep in.
Right.
Because I don't know how many people are going to still be aboard the train by this race, and hopefully we still last. But go ahead and tell them why.
One day we can do the auditorium analogy. Okay, but listen,
there's a lot of European horses, put it that way, getting their first start at Del Mar this time. So it's hard for us to handicap European style races because we don't watch them that much. Just be honest. You can still see a lot, but there's a lot of trainers, jockeys we're not familiar with. And you see like the way it's set up in the book for 1.5 distances. I really don't know what to look at too much. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's why I felt like the biggest thing I want to let them know right away, we're going with the one horse. And I wish I did know more about William Buick personally. He says it doesn't matter. Me personally, I wish I was a little bit more hip on William Buick. But he is making the trip to America to race on this horse for this race. But he was racing him heavy. Or actually, he did make the trip to Del Mar last year, November 2nd, on the 24th to ride him as well. Now I see. So it's not his first trip actually coming to America, but at the same time, it's huge to come here. He knows he wants to ride him. He knows he has a good chance on winning on this race. So I like that a lot. Now, to me, the horse really loves this distance for sure. He already won at this distance 14 out of 19 times. So he's very familiar with this distance. And he's also proved he liked Del Mar. Unlike a lot of these other horses, like I said, they're making their debuts at Del Mar in America. So the one last time out, not only made his debut in America, not only was it at the same exact distance at Del Mar's turf, but he won the race by 3 lengths. What was it? 3.5 lengths. So this horse just seems dominant to me. And the thing that makes me feel so comfortable about this horse is that he loves he's already proved that he can just race here. And he didn't even have that great of a jockey on him. Who's that jockey's name again? I always forget how to pronounce it properly. Dettori?
Well, yeah. Dettori he's a legend.
He's a legend, but you would say he was a top jock percentage-wise at Del Mar last year?
No. He's trying to...
Not last year, I'm sorry, last meet when he rode the horse?
No, probably not, no.
But that's all I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
I shouldn't disrespect him like that because you're right. He is a legend, but at the same time, he's not... it's not like... Irad Ortiz was on him at Keeneland or something, just tearing it up.
Right. Well, put it this way. Buick is a big-time English rider. So,
I'm not too familiar with him personally. I will not lie to you.
Not too many times will you see a horse with these kind of numbers by it. Okay, 20 for 29 lifetime, $14 million in earnings.
Right.
Another thing for a Euro. This Euro 6 for 7 on firm turf, So, there's the horse has won 2 Breeders' Cup races and is going for a third. So, listen, we're getting on the bus and we're singling this one here, Rebels Romance, and we're hoping the bus makes it to the field trip.
Now, I do want to shout out one horse in this before we move on real quick, just in case it does win at longer odds. And I've been telling you about him, but you just don't see it happening, and that's the 9 Gold Phoenix. Right now, he's 20-1 in the book. But the reason I like him a lot is because he likes Del Mar. And in this type of race, I like familiarity at the track when a lot of horses haven't ran there. So say the one doesn't have such a good trip, something happens to him in the beginning of the race, this 9's used to racing. He is 10 for 28, but as I was explaining to him, he won his last 2 races, which were no joke of races, they were grade 2 events. So that's pretty impressive. And he has that Umberto Rispoli on him who just brings me luck. So
Yeah. Hey,
I
listen,
can't lie about it.
His stats are nothing to sneeze at either.
That
You know, I mean,
next-
10
the
for
next
28
race is
lifetime,
when, those
2 million
two
in
go.
earnings. You know,
Because I think you got fears. In this
it's
one.
gonna,
Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dynamite race. It's just that, you know, like I said, when you look at all the races in this sequence, believe me when I tell you, this is going to be a lot of people's singles.
It will.
And so that doesn't mean the
But
horse
will they
can't
still
win.
be alive
And
by
of
this
course,
single?
I mean, he's going to be the favorite, and he's won twice before at the Breeders' Cup. So you know he could easily win, and hopefully we get prices surrounding him. So
Yep.
you know,
Especially for the pick 5 sequence.
it's not digging deep in somebody's handicapping arsenal, but listen, you know, that's what we did. So we're moving on to the 9th here.
Hold on. Tell them what happened in the 9th race. Right
Okay.
Because
Well,
we did announce it
I'm going to
earlier,
tell you what
but
the
tell
9th
them
race
again.
is. The 9th race is the Breeders' Cup Classic.
It's the big race.
This is the big race.
They've tied the
And
sound effect. Let's hit that one sound effect real quick.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we got to get
Ding,
psyched
ding,
up for this.
ding. Or
Right?
the boom.
That's
boom,
fine.
boom.
We get the little music playing. I like when he hits all 3 like that. That's my favorite thing.
Ricky Ficklin likes the beginning thing where you toss the coin.
Oh yeah, I complimented Ty on that the first day. That's all the producer. That's why he's my producer. In the background, everybody loves the background. Give a shout out to the background. But let's go ahead and
Well,
dive
the big
into this
news
9th race.
is that the favorite, you know,
Is Scratch.
everybody's favorite, the horse that I gave out.
He wasn't my favorite, even if he was the favorite, and you know he wasn't my favorite because you know I've been praising this other horse.
The
but-
horse that I gave out when I first appeared here, when the first thing I said is, I'll tell you that I have no idea who's going to win. But then I gave out Sovereignty, and he did win at 7-1 that day. He scratched.
Kentucky Derby. That's why he's here again. He gave out Sovereignty 7-1 Kentucky Derby winner. If y'all tuned in, you could have saw it live, but you can always tune back into it. It's definitely still on the YouTube channel.
And he scratched.
Yeah,
Now,
he was
this-
scratched. I was
this-
disappointed though, even though, and I wouldn't say I didn't think he was the best horse in this field. I'm gonna let him know that even before we get into it. But go ahead.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
But this is a mile and
I
a
can't
quarter.
wait till you watch
It's
this
a demanding
race.
distance, and this is for the best horses. The older horses in the world. Not all of them are here, obviously, but
Right.
there's a few that are here. A couple have raced in this event last year, like the 7 Sierra Leone. But
I do like the 7
okay,
big time.
but I'm going to give you just my top choice. Even if Sovereignty was in the race,
Yeah.
I still probably would have said I like this horse, and it's the 8 horse Mind Frame, and let me tell you why. Okay, this is a horse that I think has not hit its peak, and if you look at his past performances, he's 5 for 8 lifetime. Okay, he was probably on the Derby trail last year, but he's had some kind of a hiccup. He broke his maiden first out, okay, by 13 lengths at Gulfstream, going 7 furlongs. And then, he was in another race in which was, I'll tell you what happened just looking at it now, okay? He was a late bloomer, so he just didn't have the races under his belt by the time. So, but guess what he did do? He was in an allowance optional claiming 100,000. He won that at Churchill, and that was probably Derby Day, May 4th of 2024. Then he ran in the Belmont, where he got second from off the pace. Then he ran in the Haskell and got second from off the pace. Okay, now that was the end of his 3-year-old campaign. Comes back in March and he wins the. I'm sorry that I can't tell what these are because this is not the form. But he ran at Gulfstream against 8 horses and he was 10. He was 1-9. Okay, so what I'm getting at is that there's a lot behind this horse, and then he then what did he do after that? He won 2 races in a row. He won a grade 1 at Churchill. Then he was in the Stephen Foster, and he won that. And I remember I needed him that day, and he beat Sierra Leone. Now, in his last race, stumbled and lost the rider, who was Irad Ortiz. Irad's back on this horse for Pletcher. It's 10-1 morning line, and I'm telling you, I think he's going to see some action, and I think he might see heavy action now that
he
Sovereignty's
has.
out. So
he's already down to 6-1.
So what I'm getting at is, I'm telling you, I think the peak performance is coming from this horse.
He was my second choice in this race. He wasn't my main choice, but first off, Irad Ortiz is on him, and he loves riding him. The main reason I like him here is because with Sovereignty out, I feel the speed horses really are going to feel a little bit more comfortable in this race because there's not that many. I think there's only 2 to 3 left now. And with that said, he's going to gain so much confidence and get that much better of a trip, I feel. And it could really benefit him. So I feel the horse that gained the most out of Sovereignty being scratched, even if Sovereignty didn't win, because he could potentially mess up Mindframe's route. So with him out, Mindframe should have a good trip, I think. And I think Irad could go gate to wire in this even, to be honest with you.
Well, he has options. I mean, he's won gate to wire before. He's won from really off the pace, and then he's also won from most of the time.
I think he's going to go speed here, though. That's my personal prediction, especially because, like I said, Sovereignty got scratched, so it makes perfect sense for him to go and sit back. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to go. That's what I said. I didn't want to make you think it was a guaranteed gate to wire trip. That's why I said he could go gate to wire, even potentially. But I do think he's going to sit in the second or third stocking position and then just finish off.
Well,
good.
we only used 3 in this race, so I'm going to go ahead.
No, talk about Sierra Leone a little bit more.
So, all right. Well, my other,
that's the second to last choice.
Like I said, we used 3. The third choice is going to be Sierra Leone. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
all right. And Sierra Leone won this last year. Won this race. Okay. And he's coming back to defend his title against a couple in here that are running that ran last year. He was in the Derby in 2024. He's won the Breeders' Cup Classic. He fires every time, and what I mean by that is he's been out 13 times. Do you understand? This horse has been in the money 13 times. So that means when you say he fires every time, it means every time he's gotten the money. I mean,
I would say he's very comfortable at this distance as well. And when he won his only time running on the Del Mar dirt, by the way. And Flavion's on him, and that's always a good sign. So I could see him close big time with a lot of speed up front, trying to get it, wearing each other down, especially on this Del Mar dirt that I keep trying to tell y'all about, where horses seem to close on. I could definitely see him coming from the back again. But let's go ahead and tell him about the main pick of all picks. Well, my main pick of all picks, because you actually said your main pick was the 8 horse. But I'm going to go with Fierceness. I feel Fierceness absolutely loves this distance. Not only that, he won on the Del Mar dirt last time out in the big race. So what's the race called again? I'm sorry, the Pacific Classic. Yeah. I watched that, and it was such an impressive race to me, mainly because Velasquez caught the horse from going into the rail. He was insane.
He was in the same post position. He was in a post position 1.
He was in the exact same post position.
Darted to the left. And I don't even.
He looked like he's about to hit the pole.
On the horse,
like the dude was about to.
But he actually, the horse looked like he was going to hit the temp rail and then
somehow
came back out.
So basically, I had Fierceness that day too,
right?
And I thought for sure before he veered back out, my ticket was garbage.
Right.
But I kept on tuning into the race. And the next thing you know, you just heard the announcer scream, and here goes Fierceness with this final move. And then you just see him still win by, how much was the distance?
He won by 3.
3 over 3 big bad journalism.
It looked more than that. Yeah,
so it was 3 1/4 lengths over journalism. And ever since that race, I've been excited to see what he's going to do in this race. And I have all the confidence in the world that he's going to win this race. I'd even think about singling him in this race personally. He will be the favorite now for sure, but
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah.
He'll be around probably like 5 to 2, 2 to 1
But,
even, I think.
you know, let me tell you something. When you look on paper at a horse of this caliber, I love the spacing of the races and how many he's ran like for this year. Like in other words, like last year he ends his campaign at the Breeders' Cup. He almost wins. He gets second. He was the favorite. Okay. Then they raced in 2 stakes races in May and June, where he won the first on the comeback, got second in the slop at Saratoga in the Metropolitan. Then, right, they lay him off till August, and then what they do is they run in August 2nd and August 30th, right? So they get like 2 under the belt there. He wins the Pacific Classic, and then that's probably his top number. Like, I'm going off this.
Yeah.
It's probably his top number.
And that was all.
Right.
And that was crazy because his start might have been the worst of ever his
Right,
starts.
exactly. So not only did he get his top number, but he had, significant trouble in the race. So
I don't know how he held the horse.
There's an awful lot to like here, and I might be talking myself into a single, just by even though I love mine.
I don't blame
because
you.
there's just so much to like on paper.
I know.
There really is.
I've been waiting for this for months.
And
This
visually,
fierceness.
there's a lot to like too.
So let's go ahead and what were the 3 horses in the fourth and final leg of the sequence? It was
8, 1, and 7.
So let's go ahead and remind them one more time. The first leg was 5, 7, 10, 6, and 12. Mm-hmm. The second leg is going to be 1, 7, 8, 12, and 11. The eighth race, we're going to go ahead and single the 1 horse. Mm-hmm. And then in the 9th and final leg, we're going to go with 3 horses, the 8, 1, and 7.
And that, let me tell you how that's
Hold on real quick.
All right.
Wait, and this is for the pick 4 again, races 6 through 9. And it's going to cost $37.50. So can you explain to them how it gets to that?
Because we used 5 horses in the first leg, 5 horses in the second leg, and then a single, and then 3 horses.
The single means 1 horse, just to make it clear for the new viewers. They might not even know.
So it's a
so
math
5,
formula.
5, 1, 3.
5 times 5 is 25, times 1 is 25, times 3 is 75. Now, that's at $1, but guess what? It's a 50-cent wager. So how do you get to the $37.50? You divide 75 by 2. So it's $37.50.
Just in half.
Now, I'll tell you one thing, and I want to be on camera on this, and that is, I would go ahead and I'd add journalism, okay? Because I'm just telling you,
we're going to have to
change,
cut this quick.
and there's a little bit to like there. I'm not going to I would add.
This is what they tried to do to.
This
is what he tried to do to me during the Belmont, and this is like the same exact scenario. That's the thing with horses. I know a lot of the time. I mean, sometimes you do see like horses do like lose to horses, and in the last, in the Breeders' Cup, there has been a lot of switches. This horse beat this horse.
Right.
This horse beat this horse. Sometimes you don't see that as much, but horses are a creature of habit. And if I ever notice something, the horse that I seen Fierceness run less than 2-3 months ago, he's gonna come out here and run again at that same mindset I see. There's no horse that's even gonna. He might be the best horse in the world right now. If he wins the race, wouldn't he be?
Yeah, that's true.
And when I saw him race, I told myself that might be the best horse I've ever seen. Just the way he dominated, because it was journalism.
So usually we're on the opposite end of the spectrum
Yeah.
here. I'm the one that's making the smaller ticket. He's the one that wants to add. So this time it's the opposite. So
If we did add journalism, it would cost $70.
No, it would cost 50 even.
Oh, 50 even. I'm sorry, you're correct.
I
didn't know. You don't times it by 2 there.
$12.50.
So it would cost 50. It only cost us $13 more. But I'm telling them right now.
What he's saying is he has such a belief in fierceness.
Save
we
that
probably
money.
should have singled there.
Exactly.
And then used more of the Euros.
Which, for the official podcast play, this is the official pick 4 podcast play. But then again, on pick 4 Saturday for the Instagram, it might switch up a bit as always. So there will be another official Instagram pick. That's why you got to tune in to Instagram.
Okay.
But that's what we got for today for Del Mar, my favorite track. I'm excited about this Breeders' Cup. Before we go, though, let's get into what I like the most. That's college football, NFL. Ty, have we been hot on there or what? No,
we
actually,
have-
not the past 3 weeks. We've been a little cold, but overall, the full season, we've been
Yeah, we were
doing it.
pretty good.
We've been up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you hit that one parlay where you went 4-0 one
We've
week.
hit a
That was.
few, at least 2 weeks. We went up 4-0.
Are you
Sweet.
keeping the track of the money scene too?
Yeah,
Like the
right
cost
now,
this year? You're
that's what I said. We
probably
have
up
to.
money-wise.
Right now, we're not up money wise because we went kind of crazy the second to last week. I really like that 2-team college football parlay. I can't really remember what it was right now, but that didn't go well, so that gave us a little gap. But this is, well, I'll tell you what right now. This is the lock of all locks on Saturday. I kept telling them that last night, right, Ty? This is the college football locks of all locks this Saturday. So you got to make sure to tune in this Saturday. If you ever tuned in, if you don't tune in this Saturday, you're wasting your time and all the time.
Okay. Yeah. I was a really smart man, a mentor of mine, that told me this one time. You can be the greatest handicapper out there, but not the right money manager.
But we've been managing the money,
And,
right?
you
Right
know-
now we're at 60%. So we start off with 100 for the year. Right now we are. If we lose this week, we'll be down 160. But if we win all 4 games, we'll be like 8 times, 9 times your money. So we're sitting right where we need to be.
Right.
And I'm confident in this week, so I think it's gonna go quite well. Trust me. But do you want to go ahead and give out a college football lock for Saturday? I'll give out one lock for you because you haven't watched the show, and I'll tell you what one of the 2 locks is for our show.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't go over this either, so we don't.
Yeah,
know
I don't know what his
we're
lock
gonna do.
is.
Hopefully, we don't have the same thing.
Well, so what's your lock? What's your college football play on Saturday?
Well, I'm going to go to the Big 12, surprisingly, and I'm going to give you a team that I think is a little underrated right now. It has 1 loss, and I'd like Texas Tech to go into Kansas State and win by more than a touchdown. The line right now is minus Texas Tech minus 5.5. I probably myself will be interested in selling a few points.
You got it written down -7 right there.
Oh, well, maybe I do, but I think it's 5.5. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
certainly do have 7.
We got to get the official
I'm
play though.
always
What
used
is it
to,
right
I'm used
now?
to selling points so often.
Well,
that,
I'll say
yeah.
the lock that we got, the first lock that we handed out, which is the lock of all locks.
And scores and odds just changed, and they moved to an app style situation, which is really throwing me off. I got an app up everywhere I go now. You know, I can't just use a browser and go to a website anymore. You
Yeah, I know.
That's just nuts.
But the
You know?
college football lock of all locks this weekend is the Vanderbilt Commodores going into
He
Texas.
probably thought I was going to say that. We're both.
I
pulling
didn't
for
think he was
Vandy.
gonna say that.
I'm going to be.
I'm not just pulling
I don't
for
watch
Vandy.
too much football because I'm always in my free time I'm handicapping horse races.
Right.
But I'm going to watch Diego on Saturday.
You got to.
He is
That's must see TV
unreal.
right there. 1,000%.
Unbelievable player.
But so I'm gonna get. Oh, so right now Texas Tech, you tried to cheat us with 2 points for some reason.
What?
But Texas Tech's minus 7.5 right now. So are you still gonna take it at the
I am
7
going
and
to
a
take it. I'm going to sell it to 10.
So that's his official college football
Yeah.
play is Texas Tech
moving up as
minus
we
7.5.
speak, believe me. Okay.
We gave out Vanderbilt on the money line when they were plus 1.5. That line actually swung to plus 3.5. But I'm not
Vanderbilt.
scared of it. I'm not scared of it at all because Arch Manning was a little injured, so the more confident that he was playing, the line was going to swing up to plus 3.5.
Vanderbilt.
So I also feel there's line manipulation going over, and the pros are getting that to that 3.5. So that's what it is. His pick's Texas Tech minus 7.5, and I'm going to repeat my lock of the weekend, which is Vanderbilt. Screw the plus 3.5, screw the plus 2.5, take the money line.
Wow.
But what's your NFL lock?
Okay. In the NFL, I am going to take the Denver Broncos, and they're plus 1.5 going into Houston. Listen, this year,
Hey, you heard that, Ty?
six and
His lock was Denver Broncos.
they're 6
Oh,
and
the
2
Broncos.
straight up. They've not been a good cover.
Ty,
as
they
a big
playing at
favorite
Houston
year.
this weekend.
Okay, they're not a great cover as a big favorite this year, but they've
I don't
been
know if
an
Ty's
underdog
catching my
twice.
drift.
And depending on where you got it when they played the Chargers, if you got it at 3,
You'll see in
you
a
had
second,
push,
Ty. Hold on.
okay, and then of course they beat Philly outright where they were getting a few points.
Right.
You know, I might be a little biased because before the season started, I predicted Denver and Green Bay in the Super Bowl. You know, we'll see what happens. some other teams look a little bit stronger now, but I'm kind of pulling for my pick to
All
get
right.
there so I can save.
So
face.
it is at officially
Yeah.
still plus 1.5, and this is the final play for horses or picks that he gave out. And what's crazy is he's officially going against the best picks in DMV lock.
Wow, that's
One of them.
interesting. I
We
did
got
not know
Houston.
that. Like I said,
Houston
we
at
did not
minus
go back and
1.5.
forth.
That's
Wow.
one of the two locks. I choose to give that
Guess
one
what?
out since
Somebody's
he took
gonna be
Denver
right.
plus
Somebody's going to be
1.5.
wrong because it's
Right.
not going to be a push at 1.5.
I was gonna say if he goes 2-0, we're gonna get him back on the podcast by the end of the year, but unfortunately, I don't see that happening with him
Probably
going with the
won't
Broncos
happen
plus
unless
1.5.
we hit this pick 4 and then I go 2-0.
Yeah, if he
and
gets
some
the-
people are saying,
if we
why
get
don't
the
you
pick
get the
4,
guy
then
that
we-
keeps winning on.
No,
You
that's
know?
why I said if you go
Yeah.
2-0, we're gonna
That's
get you
right.
back on.
Winning.
But if you don't go 2-0, we're gonna have to see you again in the spring when it's Kentucky Derby time. We're
That's
gonna
true.
give out a nice 7-1 winner because I
Yeah.
don't know if this is gonna work. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna be able to go through that again
And I
with
tell you
another
what, when I
1-1.
come in
But I
here-
do think Texas
When
Tech
I
might
come
cover.
in here in May, I'll have a constant bead of sweat on my forehead. Do you understand that? 'Cause that's how life should be lived. That's how life should be lived. It's freezing out here.
But once again, I know it is getting cold.
Anything under 70 is suspect.
But we are gonna wrap it up right now. Once again, it's the best picks in DMV podcast.
He's on fire right now.
This was once again the Breeders' Cup special. Like I said earlier, make sure you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And if you have any questions for any reason and you only have an email method, you don't want to message me on there, best picks in DMV at yahoo.com. Any last words, Ty?
Nah, thanks for another show. Tune in next week for another episode.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Well, Ty, are they going to be ready for next Wednesday?
They better.
Yes, sir. We're going to be coming here with our pockets back up. So see y'all next Wednesday. That's going to be officially NCAA Week 11 and NFL Week 10. We're getting to the nitty gritty in the NFL and college football season. My favorite part. This is where I really start killing them at, when the games matter the most. That's my favorite time to bet because I know they can't lose. They got to play it all out. You'll barely see me playing some meaningless games in this time of year.
Well, at this time of year, the clocks move forward, and at 4:30 it gets dark, and I ride home with tears in my eyes. Okay.
That's a good note to end on. But, yep, see y'all next week.
All right, y'all have a good one. We out.